What's up, Wagwan? Beautiful people, it's 𝗖𝗿𝗲𝘁cie here. Welcome back to my channel. So in this video, I want to share with you some just solely countries. So countries that basically grant you birthright citizenship by being born basically in the country. And the reason why I wanted to share that video is number one, because I'm currently expecting and living abroad. Yes. So my family and I left the US back in 2014, and we've been living abroad and still traveling throughout Southeast Asia. And yes, I am planning on giving birth abroad. So I want to share a little bit about what that may look like for me, why I'm planning on giving birth in Thailand, as well as countries that you may consider as someone as a family planning to move abroad, but you're also family planning, right? You're planning on growing your family in the future, but you want to leave the US and you're looking at healthcare options, you're looking at birthright citizenship options, because let's be real, you want to have options these days. You want to have residency options, citizenship options, at least long-term stay options outside of the US, the way things are looking. And so I've met women who say, well, if I'm going to give birth abroad, it has to be in a country that grants a citizenship. So they call these like just solely countries. Or you can say just soil countries, right? So I'm going to list about 35 of these countries. And then I'll also share why I'm giving birth in Thailand, even though Thailand technically does not give birthright citizenship like most Asian countries. It's very hard to get citizenship in an Asian country. If you hear a noise in the background, that's baby boy or nanny's getting him from his nap. Don't know if you can hear it, but that's what it is. I'm going to keep going with this video, okay? Before I get into sharing the just soulless countries, right, or the just soil citizenship countries, I'm going to be sharing with you why I'm giving birth in Thailand, what that process has already looked like for me, what prepping to give birth over here has been looking like, what I've been doing to prep to give birth, okay? What are the reasons why I'm giving birth here in Thailand? Number one is because I'm already living here. We knew that we were growing, or we wanted to grow our family, and I was okay with the idea of giving birth in Thailand because of the infrastructure here in Thailand, the healthcare system. We have experienced the healthcare system in Thailand quite a number of times, especially having a toddler, doing checkups and different things like that, and especially doing my prenatal visits. And the healthcare system over here, I will say, is top notch. It is actually better than the United States healthcare system. And I know a lot of people won't believe this. They're probably thinking that the Thailand healthcare system is probably, I don't know, you're probably on beds on the floor or something. I don't know, because the way the questions that people ask, it makes me really wonder. But I have shared clips and videos and snippets of like the healthcare, some of the healthcare infrastructure, and you'll be blown away. I mean, there's somebody playing a grand piano in the middle of the hospital, and you'd not think that you're in a hospital. They have banks downstairs, they have cafes downstairs, coffee shops, they have 7-Elevens downstairs, places that you can go and buy books, buy toys, buy children's clothes for your children. Literally downstairs within the hospital, you don't have to go anywhere. They have people outside that will order you a taxi, like a Bolt taxi if you can't. Like the healthcare system here is just so top notch, you guys. I can't stress it enough. And it's so efficient. You're not waiting for hours like the US. You don't need a referral from your GP to then be told by this specialist that you can't be seen for another 6 months when the issue is urgent. They don't do that over here. You can walk in and say, listen, I want to do this entire blood panel. I want my whole life checked, okay? And you can have that scheduled in no time, pay a few hundreds of dollars for it without insurance. If you need to see a heart doctor, a stroke specialist, if you want to go to the orthopedics center, you want to see a gyno, it does not matter the issue you have. You have an ear infection, you can see a doctor on the spot. You can have blood drawn on the spot. So what I love, and test done and get your results in a few weeks or so. what I love is that unlike the US healthcare system where sometimes they'll send the order to like a quest or somewhere, then you have to schedule an appointment, then you have to go there and then get the test done. Like for example, now during pregnancy, right? I remember in the US I had to get what is a test called? I guess my blood drawn and glucose and stuff like that. They weren't able to just do it at the time when I was seeing an OB, I should say, before switching to a midwife and deciding to have a non-hospital birth. We'll talk about that in another video. But I had to go to another establishment to schedule an appointment to do all of this. But over here, you can get everything done within the same hospital. They have a labs department. They have the pharmacies right inside of the hospital. So you don't have to then have your order sent to a pharmacy that you have to then drive to. Everything is in one place. Efficiency at its finest. They have figured it out. I don't know how, but they are so forward thinking. And that's what I absolutely love about the healthcare system. Now, I'm a very healthy person by the grace of God. Thank you, Lord. Okay. I don't have any health problems, but yet still, I've still found myself at the hospital many times. And I think that comes with having a child as well. And now being pregnant, I'm doing prenatal visits and tests and all of these things. And thankfully, I'm very healthy. But I do appreciate a good healthcare system because you never know, you may have an emergency or whichever. Healthcare may not be a top priority for you, but it may be a priority for somebody else. Okay. So that's one of the reasons why we were okay with giving birth in Thailand. The only caveat to that, I mentioned before that I did have a natural birth. Okay. I did have a natural non-hospital birth. I decided to go with midwives to either give birth at home or at a birth center, which is a more private setting like a home. It's just your midwives. If you have a doula, I had a doula. I had my birth videographer and photographer and my husband. That was just it. 2 midwives, doula, birth videographer, my husband. That was my birth team. Very private setting. That is what I wanted. I did not want to be in a hospital with me signing my life away and different people telling me that I have to do this or this person pushing this on me and being mistreated or anything like that. I did not want to experience that. And I do understand that emergencies happen sometimes in birth. And if that happened, then it happened, right? The birth center was close enough to a hospital just in case that happened. But by the grace of God, I had a precipitous birth, which means that my birth was very fast for someone giving birth for the first time. Fast, you guys. So fast, I barely made it to the birth center. Within 8 minutes of being in the birth center, of arriving, I gave birth. Okay, I didn't even make it to the tub. I literally just squatted, gave birth. Okay, so it was very fast because I was also, preparing myself mentally. I feel like I would call it a hypnobirthing. There's people who may call this hypnobirthing. I was already preparing my body, preparing my mind, and, just preparing myself for birth. I was drinking my red raspberry tea, which I'm doing now, eating my dates, walking, doing curb walks. I also was seeing a prenatal chiropractor. She really helped to, make sure that baby was aligned, and he was head down for a while, for a long time. He was ready, you guys. He was ripe and ready. And I think that also helped. And again, just being in that mental space and just reading and preparing myself and just believing that I could have a supernatural, fast, easy birth. And because I feel like of that mindset, because I believed that, then I think that made my birthing even easier. So that's the type of birth that I had. Now, I'm sharing this to say the only caveat with giving birth in Thailand is that they don't necessarily have like midwives or recognize like home births like way back in the day before they have this infrastructure. Because they now have this phenomenal healthcare infrastructure, they mostly recognize hospital births. Now, technically, if you give birth at home, you end up giving birth at home, which Lord knows what will happen to me. Because if my first birth was so fast, Lord knows what the second birth will do. Okay. That's one of the reasons why I'm nervous, because I live in Bangkok where there's a little bit of traffic. So you never know. But the Lord is on our side. Okay. If you give birth at home, it's just an emergency and they just have to recognize it. Okay. But it's not necessarily like practiced. There are midwives who practice privately, but I prefer not to go through those channels. I would prefer it go through a channel where it's like really recognized by the Thai government. And so, however, I was able to find a more holistic natural birth doctor. Her practice is very like natural and holistic to the point where she has a natural birth room, and I will show clips here if I can. I did a short form video, or if I don't have the clips here, I will also have it linked. It's a short form video that I did. I will have it linked in my description below, where I gave you a tour of the birth center. It was not a birth center. It really looked like a birth center, you guys, but it was a natural birth room. Phenomenal, prestigious, clean. They had the natural birth tub. They had the birth ball. They had this rope thing hanging from the bed. I've never seen anything like that. They have this ladder, built-in ladder that helps you, supports you during birth. They have this squatting chair, so you can give birth squatting on the chair. And just all of these natural things. They have these wireless contraction monitors that you can put on your finger that allows you to walk around instead of being pinned to a bed. Because if you know anything about birthing, we're not meant to just labor on our backs and just be pinned to the bed to give birth. Okay. We're meant to move around and have our own ebb and flow. And if it means squatting to give birth, like what I did, then that's what you're going to do. Okay. But the man says, no, you have to be on your back. Like, what do men know about giving birth, Anyway, that's for a whole different topic. And so I love the setup of this natural birth room. We talked about vaccines, how I feel about it. We talked about that. And for her, it was just like, she never ever pushed anything. It was just like, okay, what are your expectations? What do you want? She didn't really question different things. With her, it was very simple. She did not like try to go back and forth with me. For example, we talked about the delayed clamping of the umbilical cord, right? And I thought she was going to like have questions about it, like go back and forth with me. I thought she was going to ask me why I want to do it. It's not recommended, all of these things. She said to me, she was like, yeah, that's a part of my practice. She was like, I always delay clamping. She was like, you don't need to tell me that, basically. She's up my alley. She's an expert at natural birthing. She's been doing it for decades. Okay. In her office, she has probably hundreds of pictures of families that she has supported. She has babies that she's delivered, basically. Okay. And a lot of them were like natural births. And so that's why I choose her. She's one of the few doctors, if not the only one really, in Bangkok that specializes in natural births, especially for expats. So that's why I felt comfortable with a hospital birth in that regard. I feel listened to. I feel treated well. Uh, if you have studied the statistics with the mortality rate and the maternity death rates and different things like that in the US, you will be astounded. Thank God for TikTok now. We can see people's experiences in real time. And my gosh, just the discrimination that you come across now that you're able to like see and experience through the internet. And so that's why I wasn't necessarily fond of a hospital birth. But anyway, with that said, of course, I would still prefer a home birth. And we never know. We never know what may happen, because I'm still actually looking at different options based on these country lists. Okay, so let's get into the country list, you guys. I know I went on and on for a bit, but I just wanted to share that backstory with you guys. Okay, now let's get into the countries. So number one, so I'm going to go in alphabetical order with countries that grant citizenship at birth. And these are unrestricted, born in a country citizenship. Okay, so that means unconditionally your child will get citizenship to anyone born there. And more than likely, for a lot of these countries, usually how it works is if your child gets citizenship, then sometimes these countries allow you as a parent to apply for like permanent residency and then eventually citizenship. Okay. So let's go through the list. So you have Antigua and Barbuda, you have Argentina, you have Belize, you have Bolivia, you have Brazil, Canada, Chad, Chile, Costa Rica, Cuba, Dominica, Ecuador, El Salvador, Fiji, Grenada, Guatemala, Guyana, Honduras, Jamaica, Lesotho, Mexico, Nicaragua. Okay, I'm not gonna embarrass myself. Panama, Paraguay, Peru, St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Tanzania, Trinidad and Tobago. You know, I actually didn't realize that Trinidad and Tobago offer this. Tuvalu, United States, which, you know, that's like pending, right? Because they're talking about doing away with birthright citizenship. So, you know, who knows? That's an asterisk there. Uruguay and Venezuela. Now, I was actually born and raised in Jamaica. And I think one of the reasons why I wasn't pressed to give birth in a country that does grant birthright citizenship is because I know that my children can get Jamaican citizenship when we're ready, right? I was born in Jamaica. I have a Jamaican passport also. I'm an American citizen, but I also have a Jamaican passport. And so if push comes to shove, my family, we can get Jamaican citizenship for my entire family. Okay. So I think that's one of the reasons why I'm not pressed. However, I have thought about having another option of citizenship. And one of the countries that I strongly thought about, if I'm going to be honest, is Mexico. Okay. Mexico and Brazil. Apparently, Brazil has free health care as well. Whether you are a citizen or not, you can actually give birth for free, is what I want to say. I don't know about the entire healthcare system being free, but you can give birth for free in Brazil. And when you have a child, your child automatically can become become a Brazilian citizen. And then you as a parent can get permanent residency as well. And then within 2 to 3 years, you can get citizenship in Brazil. That is a great option to have, especially with all the things that are happening, as you know, around the world and with the US. The US passport, you know, is going to be weakened, and the Brazilian passport allows you to visit over, is it 70 or over 150? Don't quote me on that, but it allows you to visit dozens of countries visa free, okay, for Brazil. So if you're someone who's looking abroad, I would look at these, if that's important to you. If birthright citizenship is important to you, I would look at the list, look at, you know, their healthcare, look at the quality of life, look at the strength of the passport, like what countries can you visit, can you travel to visa free or easily with this type of passport if you are someone who is looking to get citizenship in another country. Another thing is you may be wondering, okay, if my child is born in one of these countries and they get citizenship, what about American citizenship? I know a lot of people have that question. And if you are an American citizen, automatically, technically not automatically, you have to actually apply for it, but your child will also get American citizenship as well. But you have to put the application in, like I said before. You still have to do the CBRA, is what it's called. You apply for it, you know, you're an American, your child is born here, you have their birth certificate, okay, and you get their American citizenship, and then you can apply for their American passport. So that way your child can have 2 passports. They can be dual citizens at birth if you decide to have your child or have your children in one of these countries. And that's giving you options. So if you're someone who's thinking about moving abroad, but you are struggling with the idea of giving birth abroad, you're family planning and you're trying to figure out if it's even possible to raise your family or give birth abroad, I just want you to know that it is possible to give birth abroad, right? People give birth every single day all over the world. In fact, you may even have better support and better care outside of the US. I'm telling you, I have visited some phenomenal, or I should say, phenomenal, not birth center, postpartum center. Oh my gosh, just the level and the quality of care which we're considering doing, which is one of the things that Asians pride themselves in, right? Cocooning and taking care of the postpartum mom. She shouldn't even wash her hair. She should be fed healthy, nutritious meals. She should get decent sleep at night, different things like that. And so Asia has some of the best postpartum centers at an affordable rate. And I had the opportunity to visit one, and just the quality of care, the cleanliness, the hygiene, OMG, just top tier. And I'm just mind blown. I've never seen anything like that, in the US. And so be encouraged and know that people give birth all over the world every single day. But of course, you want to choose somewhere where you know you'll be cared for well and that the healthcare quality is pretty good. And do your research, look on YouTube. There are tons of stories of people who have given birth in different countries. So find the country that you're most interested in. Again, see the strength of the passport, see the healthcare system, see the what the quality of life is like there, especially with children. Is it children's friendly? Is it family friendly? Is it children friendly, to see if it works for you and your family, if it's ideal for you and your family. Um, but yeah, you guys, I almost last minute, I was about to say, you know what? Let me give birth in Brazil, okay? Because Brazil, the culture it's kind of reminds me of like the Jamaican culture in a sense. You have the beaches and stuff, but then Brazil still, they struggle with like the racism and colorism and different things like that. So you want to keep all of those different things in mind. And again, I chose Thailand because I'm already here and my children will already have the opportunity to have dual citizenship. Maybe if we have more children in the future, maybe I'll go somewhere else that offers birthright citizenship. We'll see, but that's what we decided to do this time around. I don't know if I missed anything out, but if you guys have any questions about me giving birth in Thailand, I will be sure to try to continue to share my journey if I feel up to it, because some days, you guys, I'm just like, OMG. I don't know if you see it in my face or anything like that, but I will try my best to continue to share my birth prep story, my birth journey with you guys, and even postpartum. I'll be sure to share that with you guys. But if you have any questions at all about whether that's giving birth in Thailand, moving abroad in general, be sure to leave those questions below so that I know what types of videos you want from me, you want to hear from me. Okay, so feel free to drop those in the comments, and also look in the description for any resources. I do plan on doing an escape plan workshop, or let's say a move abroad workshop, okay? Whether you're a veteran, especially if you're a family, your family is trying to move abroad, you're trying to plan, and you're like really serious about it within the next year or less, or year or two, hopefully, nothing more than that, the way things are going. But if you're really serious about making that possible and you don't really know how, you want some extra guidance, whether that's um, remote income, steps to take, and different things like that, I will have a newsletter or waitlist that you can sign up for to be the first to know when I will be doing this move abroad workshop. I'm still trying to plan it based on what I'm understanding that people need. And so join the wait list so that you can know when I do this workshop. You'll be the first to know. I want it to be kind of like an intensive, maybe like a 2-day workshop virtually, or maybe like a 3-hour type of thing, or 3 hours for 2 days. But just know that it's going to be packed with so much value that is going to help you to take that next step to move abroad and help simplify it for you. Because I know that it can seem like such a complex process, especially with children. I know, or you're trying to figure out work or income or whatever, right? So my goal is to help guide you and just simplify it for you. So if this resonates with you, this type of content resonates with you, uh, be sure to like this video, share it with a friend who may find value from it. Subscribe. The goal is to get to at least 1,000 subscribers by September, my birthday. Okay, so let's make it happen, friends. Let's make it happen. All right. Love you guys. Again, it's your girl 𝗖𝗿𝗲𝘁𝘂𝘁. It was an absolute pleasure, and I'll see you guys later. Be blessed.